In this Madden Tips a video breakdown called 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 press Nano Blitz A gap pressure from the right end in Madden 24, we show a great way to get pressure on the quarterback with just a 5-man pass rush. The 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 press is the defense we use for this blitz setup. It is a cover 3 zone defense that features a 5-man pass rush with 6 defenders dropping back in pass coverage. Here is a list of the defensive playbooks you will find this defensive play in. For this breakdown, we use the Raiders playbook. The defensive player that we use for this blitz setup is Las Vegas defensive end Maxx Crosby. He is one of the better pass rushers that you'll find in Madden 24. The only substitution that we need to make is to move left end Maxx Crosby over to the right end position. So as you look at your screen right here, he's lined up right in here by default at the left end. We're going to go ahead and move him over to the left end. To do that, we just want to use the DE flip. And as you look at your screen now, he's lined up at the right end position. Before I actually show the blitz setup, let's go into the coaching adjustments and take a look at 2 adjustments that you have to make. The first one is auto flip defensive play call. I'm going to set that one off, and then auto alignment, I want to set that one to base. To set up the 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 press, it's real simple. You're going to call show blitz, such as what you see on your screen, and then the next thing you want to do is take control of this guy right here, which is the one I'm in control of, which is going to be the left inside linebacker. You're simply going to move them into the area next to the nose tackle, pretty much right up on the line of scrimmage. Now, you want to hold down the right trigger before the ball is snapped, such as what you see on your screen. Now, if everything is set up right, and this blitz is pretty easy to do, then we're going to look to get pressure from the right end. He's going to come through this area here, and he's going to shoot through the A gap between the center and the left guard and apply the pressure on the quarterback. Let's go ahead and run this, and you'll see what I mean as far as getting that pressure is concerned here. And right there, we get the pressure on the quarterback pretty quick. So what I want to do now is I want to go into the X and O's of the play so we can take a look at it a little bit closer. From the top down view, we can get a better idea exactly how this blitz works. And as you look at it, the key to this is to get the right guard to look to block the left inside linebacker. So what we're looking for is for him to block in this direction here. Now remember, I am in control of him, at least initially, where I'm looking to either drop him back into zone coverage, or I'm going to switch off to the right end as the right end comes through the A gap and applies the pressure. In the video earlier, when I showed you actually live a running the play, that's what happened where I switched off. But we'll look at that here in just a second. But as you see on your screen there, that's the key right there. And what that does, it alters the rest of the way the offensive line blocks. In this case, what's going to happen here is the left tackle is going to look to block this guy right here, which is the right outside linebacker. And then you're also going to have this guy right here, which is the left guard. And what he's going to do is he's going to look to block the right inside linebacker. And then we're going to have Crosby here. As you look at your screen here, he's lined up. And remember, we got him at the right end position. And what he's going to do is he's going to loop or stunt around the right inside linebacker. And then he's going to come between the center and the left guard and apply the pressure on the quarterback, such as what you're seeing here. So he'll come up through here and get that A-gap pressure. And that's what we're looking for with this particular setup. And then as I pointed out earlier, as you watch me run through this, you'll see me switch off to him once I see he clears the line of scrimmage and I know he can get to the quarterback, and I'll release the left inside linebacker and allow him to drop back in pass coverage. And again, that's why I put the left inside linebacker in a mid read, because I want him to drop back further back into this area here. You know, I want him to take away some of these deeper routes, especially if they're in a 3rd and long situation. I don't mind giving up something. For example, say this guy comes underneath on a drag route. I don't mind giving that up, but I don't want him to get a deeper down the field. And that's the reason I put him in a mid zone. Whereas in a 3 receiver hook, he would cover the 3rd receiver. In this case, it would end up being this running back, and I really don't want him to do that. So that's what I want to point out there. So let's go through this again as we watch this, and then I'll bring up the ticker and we'll take a look at the ticker and I'll show you how fast we actually get to the quarterback. But first, let's just go through this kind of a little bit and take a look at it. So you can kind of see, as I illustrated earlier, as far as the way this works. And the key to this, as you look at it, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. You can see on your screen here, it's this guy right here. It's going to be that right guard. So he turns his hips towards the left as you look at it, and looking to block me, at least initially, but then he ends up engaging the nose tackle along with the center, and that basically takes him out. And then as you watch, you can see right here, as you look at your screen here, that we're going to go ahead and get that pressure on a quarterback, such as what you're seeing on your screen here. As I zoom in here and take a look at this, you can see that I'm dropping my guy back. So I'm dropping him back manually at this point, right? I'm dropping back the left inside linebacker. But then once I see Crosby clear the line of scrimmage, then I want to switch. And then at this point, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and start tapping on this A button. I want to start tapping on it real hard, so that way he ends up getting that pressure, that extra speed boost to get to the quarterback, such as what you're going to see on your screen here as I run this. So you can see right there, I get the pressure on the quarterback. The only thing I will say that didn't work out quite as well as I'd like it to is that as you look at this, as I zoom in again, you can see he kind of gets hit by the center, by the foot. It kind of slows him down a little bit. Sometimes you'll have that happen, but that's all right. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to zoom back out, and I want you guys to look at the pass coverage. It's pretty good all the way around for the most part. Remember, this is a third and long situation. Again, I don't mind giving up that short middle of the field. What I don't want to do is give up the deeper pass routes. Now, something else I want to point out too, as we look at this, I don't have these guys set to any kind of depths as far as these curl flats. You can always adjust these guys if you want, send them to 25, 30 yards, whatever you want to do. Just want to point that out. But at any rate, you can see we get to the quarterback pretty quick. Really not a whole lot for my opponent to throw to as far as getting a receiver open. So I just want to point that out to you as far as with this blitz. Now what I want to do is I want to go back into it and go into the ticker and show you how fast we were able to get to the quarterback. With the ticker up on the screen, let's see how fast we can get to the quarterback here as you look at your screen right there. And you can see right there, it's just over 2 seconds. Now what I want to do is I want to go back and show you something else you're going to have to do when you scheme this and run some other different type of zone defenses and do the same setup to try to confuse your opponent. So let's get back into it, into the regular gameplay, and take a look at that. One of the things you got to do, no matter what type of blitz setup you run from whatever defensive formation and play that you may call, you have to scheme it with some other type of defense from that same formation. And with this one, that's the same thing. You have to do that. So what I'm going to show is how to scheme it with the 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 cover 6, which is another zone defense. So let's go into that and take a look at that. And what I want to talk about here is make sure you do the same setup as what I showed earlier. So this is the exact same setup that I just did, except for obviously we're not really doing a 5-man pass rush. Matter of fact, we've only got 4 defenders coming after the quarterback, as you can see on your screen. And the reason I tell you this is if the running back was to stay in the pass block, then the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 press blitz does not work the same. Matter of fact, it's going to get picked up. Now, with that said, there is another version of the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 press blitz where we can actually get some double B gap pressure coming from these two guys right here, which is going to be from the right and left end. I'm not going to show that blitz here in this blitz setup or breakdown that I'm doing right now. But I want you guys to keep in mind it's there, and it does bring some pressure, and it brings some real intense pressure. We'll do that in another video breakdown. But for now, realize that you have to scheme this with some other type of defense. It'd rather be a couple different defenses because it's going to make things a lot easier on you. So for example, say they have all these guys pass blocking right here. As you look at it, they've got those 6 guys blocking, and we've only got 4 staying in or rushing the quarterback. So that's going to leave us 6 defenders, as you look at your screen here, can drop back in coverage to take away only their 4 receivers. So we end up getting the advantage here as you look at it. And I'm messing up on the counts there. But anyways, you can see we've got 7 guys dropping back as you look at it as far as defenders in zone coverage. So with that said, you must scheme it with some other type of zone defense or even a couple of zone defenses to make it that much more effective. I just want to point that out to you guys. So make sure you guys, when you guys go into this blitz setup, real simple to do. It's going to bring that A-gap pressure, but you definitely got to scheme it. I just really want to point that out to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video breakdown. I know it's kind of a lengthy one, but it's something I wanted to show here. It's a nice blitz. It's going to bring some pressure from the right end who shoots through the A-gap.